On today's show, Cooper Flagg versus Ace Bailey for Rookie of the Year. Is Cooper Flagg such a shoo-in? Maybe not. I'll tell you why. Locked on NBA Game Night right now.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
And welcome to Locked On NBA Game Night. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of Locked On Mavericks podcast, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and the #1 sports podcast network out there. Thank you for helping us get there. Thanks for being every day, making Locked On NBA your first listen. If you don't like me, this was not a good day for you on Locked On NBA. Particularly, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5. If your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. And joining me, as always, from Locked On Bucks, what'd you see in the NBA tonight, Camille Davis?
Man, normally overtime is like an exciting thing and you're ready for it, but in the preseason, it feels a little different. Like okay, we got extra basketball. Cool.
I'll never forget that Rick Carlisle blew a game on purpose one time just to not have preseason for the Mavericks.
Real activities.
And then we went to post-game media afterwards, and he goes, I was just glad that we didn't have to play overtime.
In preseason, like, no one wants that.
So we'll talk about that. I want to talk about why we play some of these games. And we'll hear from all kinds of hosts throughout all. We have one of our Locked On local experts for every single one of these games because we cover all of them. So we'll talk about each of these games. We'll play Count It Up, where we count out the most interesting, fun things in the NBA. But let's start with this one, Camille. The Dallas Mavericks against the Utah Jazz. One of the few games tonight where we actually saw starters on multiple sides of the ball here. We saw Anthony Davis start. We saw Cooper Flagg obviously start. Ace Bailey on the other side. Lauri Markkanen for the Utah Jazz. And the story I think out of this one is probably going to be, if you're a Mavericks fan or if maybe an NBA fan, about Anthony Davis playing the 5. We'll get into that a little bit later. But if you're just a fan of basketball in general, Cooper Flagg versus Ace Bailey was one where you're like, all right, maybe I'm turning this one on because I'm interested to see that. Well, you got 21 minutes of Cooper Flagg. You got to see some cool things from him. But Ace Bailey only plays 10 minutes, and he goes 1 of 5 from the field, has a couple of fouls early. Like, he got into some early foul trouble, and that held him back. And then he didn't play in the entire second half because of bilateral knee soreness, which I learned today, Camille, just means that both your knees hurt.
Man, double knees, double knee pain right there.
You only got 2.
Right. Yeah, if you had 3 knee pains, like then we got
trilateral knee pain. If that's what Embiid has probably.
Oh Lord, oh no.
Sixers fans were like, we weren't even playing tonight. We're catching strays.
Like, how we get talked about on this show? But no, Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg. I know I was looking forward to this matchup tonight, especially looking through all the different lineups of who was playing. I'm like, okay, this game, and then Spurs and Pacers, we got some starters playing in these games, but the injury to Ace kind of took a lot of the wind out the sails there. And knowing that we don't even get Jazz Mavericks until January,
true.
We don't even get to see Ace Bailey versus Cooper Flagg. Hopefully both are healthy by that time, but January 8th is when the Jazz host the Mavericks, and that's the first time those two teams see each other. So got a little bit of a preview of it, but not enough. And Ace Bailey has looked really good throughout the preseason. Yes. Did not look great at the start of this game. Cooper Flagg has shown, and the numbers alone, not the best game for Cooper Flagg, but again, he's one of those guys, just a little bit of everything there. Like, he got the rebounds there, even though the shooting wasn't necessarily super efficient for him. So a little bit of a letdown, and knowing we have to wait till January is even more of a letdown to see those two on the court together.
Little bit of a letdown, but we do see, I think, the dichotomy between the two on this Rookie of the Year race, because I think it's going to come down to those two guys. It's Flagg has been the favorite. He's minus 220 right now on FanDuel to win the award, which means FanDuel thinks that it's going to happen. And Ace Bailey was 4th a couple days ago. I remember doing an ad. I think it was maybe for the preview of the Western Conference that we did over the weekend. And Ace Bailey was 4th. Now he's 2nd. He's plus 900. I think he's risen up in those rankings. Trey Johnson, I don't know that he fell or Ace rose above him, but Trey Johnson plus 1,000, Dylan Harper plus 1,300, VJ Edgecombe plus 1,600 to win Rookie of the Year. And so maybe there's just money on Ace Bailey after he's been playing some good games too. That's probably more likely what happened. But I do think it's interesting to see these guys, because Cooper Flagg, what he is he is so consistent. He's just bringing it every night, going to give you double-digit points. Like, each game, he's giving you, like 12, 11, 10 points, giving you like 5 to 7 rebounds, giving you like 2 to 4 or 5 assists, giving you a couple blocks, a couple steals every night. And he's just going to bring it consistently and play for this Mavericks team that has Anthony Davis, that has these vets, that has Klay Thompson, that has guys that are going to want the ball, guys that are going to want to win and want to win now. He's got to impact winning as it is right now in the NBA. A hard thing for an 18-year-old to do, but I think he can do that because he's just that kind of player. And he's not going to put up the stats that Ace Bailey will, but Ace Bailey won't do it every night either. He'll have these games like we saw the other night where he puts up 20 and he looks like Tracy McGrady. Like literally somebody said that to me. He was like, doesn't Ace look like Tracy McGrady? And then I'll have nights like this where he gets in foul trouble early and is out and doesn't play as much and misses a bunch of shots. He went 1 of 5 in this game, right? And I just wonder which one of those is going to win out. The consistency of Cooper Flagg, maybe not having all the stats every night, but consistently doing it and impacting winning, or the Ace Bailey, the leaps and valleys of like, some nights he's going to look awesome and be like, man, he just dropped 30. And we're talking about him like he's the next, all-star type player.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Let me put it on the record here that I'll put my money on Dylan Harper. I love that kid's game. Love his game. Of course, it's going to depend on playing time, but he flashes something to me that it's special watching him. He has a gift when it comes to getting to the hoop, putting pressure on the rim. But talking about Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg. My Cooper Flagg question is this. Are the Mavericks going to be too good for him to have an impact that really wows? Because it might be, like you said, Cooper Flagg's a guy who can kind of fill in a lot of different areas. And I can see him just kind of being the guy like, I'm doing what it takes to win. I don't care about the stats necessarily. I just want the win in the column. So I could see that kind of hurting his case with like AD what if he has a really big year and you're looking at all these other more established vets and what they're doing. You're not necessarily looking at Cooper Flagg and like, hey, this is the guy right here. I could see the team being good kind of hindering him in the same way that it could also be a positive form of like he's influencing winning. So I'll be curious to see how the narrative shape out with that. But Ace is going to have a lot of opportunity in Utah to do this. And I was just reading an article that was highlighting how Utah has been utilizing getting him the ball and like just off ball movement of like how they're creating the shots for him. Like not many dribbles for him, but just having him move, find the ball in movement and then go up with the shot and just getting him buckets in that way too. So like Ace, I think is going to have some big games, but like you said, not consistently. I think that's just part of being a player in the NBA, period, especially a young one. Your first year in the league, like progress isn't linear. It's going to be some ups and downs throughout the year.
Yeah, I was watching with a friend and all of a sudden they're like, who is that young guy? Like, who is that guy? He looks younger than Cooper Flagg. I was like, that's Ace Bailey. And then Keontae George popped up too. He's got a baby face too.
Yeah.
He's part of the club. We're all in a secret club together.
What is the secret club?
It's the Babyface Assassin.
Okay. All right. Y'all got it.
The thing about Cooper Flagg, to answer your question from earlier, is I think that he is part of that success. If the Mavs are going to have success, it is going to be in part because of Cooper Flagg, because he's helping them get there. And so I don't think that success will get in the way of him like getting to Rookie of the Year status. I think he will be the reason why they get there, because why they get to any kind of success, because D'Angelo Russell misses this game and Cooper Flagg starts at point guard. Right? Like he's one of the things that holds this whole thing together. Anthony Davis is a finishing star. He's a guy that, like, when he gets the ball between like 16 and 21 feet of the basket, his offense just does not come easy, even against this Jazz team. Like, shout out to David Locke to have to watch this Jazz team all season multiple times, both for Locked On Jazz and for for the broadcast.
I'll tell you this one thing though about the Jazz that stands out to me when I'm watching them. Brent Sensabaugh, like, dude's a lethal shooter.
Yeah.
Sensabaugh is real.
They've got some fun guys for sure.
They do.
I'm not going to put it past. They're going to lose a bunch of games though.
And Bryce is one of those dudes. I think that like people who are fans of contending teams might not know about him because he plays for the Utah Jazz. But every contending team needs a Bryce Sensabaugh. Like he could be lethal on a contending team. Yeah, like, so he should be fun to watch.
How could he not be like Sam Hauser on the Celtics when they won the championship?
Something.
You know what I mean? Like
at the very least.
Yeah. So I think with Anthony Davis, he's a finishing star, and you see how it just all needs to be brought together in some way. And Cooper Flagg helps do that. You saw Ryan Nembhard, the Mavs' other rookie that's from Gonzaga, came out. He had 12 assists in this game because he just kind of pulls it all together. They're going to need somebody like that. I think Cooper will be the one to get there. I mentioned Anthony Davis at the 5. I want to talk about it real quick because Derek Lively only played 7 minutes in this game. He's fine. He was walking around the locker room afterwards, according to reports, and they were going to play him limited minutes in this game anyway. And so it's not like he got hurt or anything like that in the game. But the Mavs were playing Anthony Davis at the 5 because Gafford is still out with his injury. And it was working. the offense like could breathe. It looked like it had another spark to it. Najee Marshall's getting straight to the basket. He finished with 17 points. He had a good game in this one, but the offense kind of was breathing. And all of a sudden you're like, man, Anthony Davis is going to have to play the 5 a little bit more against certain teams because they're going to need some spacing because the offense is they're going to struggle offensively. This team is because they just don't have the offensive like creators in the same way, obviously, that they've had in the past. Like they're going from Luka and Kyrie to now D'Angelo Russell, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, like just completely different caliber and level and style of offensive creators. And so it's a conundrum the Mavs are going to have to face. When Gaffer comes back healthy, him and Lively, there'll be games where I think they're only going to play like 10 minutes each.
That's really 10
There will
minutes
be
each?
games like that. I just by watching it and seeing how the offense works tonight.
Hey, listen, we know AD historically does not like playing the 5, but there's a reason why so many prior coaches and teams and fan bases were like, hey, AD at the 5, man. Like, we really like how this looks because of the spacing, as you mentioned. And they're going to need that, especially with how hard they've been hit at the guard position with those injuries. Like, we know they don't have Kyrie. Brandon Williams was out. Dante Exum is out. And then you had D'Lo out in this one. And then it's like Cooper Flagg and Jaden Hardy. So like you're going to have to make sure that you get your spacing right and find ways to create because it can be difficult when you don't have a lot of shot creators or playmakers on the court.
You can say Jaden Hardy with even more of a question mark if you'd like to. Because
Jaden Hardy?
He did not have a good impact on this game and has not looked great in the preseason so far. Coming up, we're running around the league. The Pacers lose to the Spurs, but what if Benedict Mathurin takes a leap for them? Saw him have a great one in this one. We'll talk about that and more. Locked On NBA Game Night continues coming up next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night is brought to you by FanDuel. We were just talking about Rookie of the Year odds. Flagg minus 220, Ace Bailey plus 900, Trey Johnson plus 1,000, Dylan Harper plus 1,300, VJ Edgecombe plus 1,600. If you're like Camille and you think that Dylan Harper's going to win it, plus 1,300 is crazy odds for somebody that's second in the draft. So go check that out. Put down $100, and if he wins, you win $1,300. That's a pretty good one. But if you are somebody that is new to FanDuel and you find something that you think is a guaranteed, absolutely gonna happen, put down $5 on it. You get $300 in bonus bets. You'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app if you do that if you're a new customer. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app and get started today. Again, check out FanDuel. Please gamble responsibly. Also brought to you by Monarch Money. If you're somebody that just has too much going on, you're busy. You're trying to figure out how to manage your life, how to manage your fantasy team, how to manage all these different things. Monarch Money is there to help you to manage finances because that's something that absolutely matters. Because if you don't pay attention to that, all of a sudden you're like working uphill, and that is a hard thing to come back from. And Monarch Money is there to help you. It does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes and see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, finally feel in control of your money and that your money is not controlling you without ever having to touch a spreadsheet. Huge for the non-spreadsheet lovers. I am not one, but I've heard there are dozens of you. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONNBA. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA, being part of the show, being in every day or listening every day. We have a daily Locked On show that covers your favorite team, Locked On Jazz, hosted by an up-and-coming broadcaster that I think is pretty good. So go check out Locked On Jazz and give him a follow, give him a like. You know, it'd be good to like help his career get off the ground at some point. Also Locked On Bucks by Camille Davis and Justin Garcia. Locked On Mavs, me and Isaac Harris, hosting every day, so you can go listen to those. Link in the description there. And we're going to hear from the rest of our hosts from tonight because a bunch of games happened in the association. They watched them way deeper than I was interested in watching some of these games. And so let's hear from our first one. This is Spurs versus Pacers. Let's hear from our guy, Tony East.
Riding up the escalator at Gainbridge Fieldhouse where the Pacers just lost 124-108 to the Spurs. Rough game from their centers, rough game from their bench, which is unfortunate because the starters, the usual ones, played pretty well. Ben Mathurin was exceptional with his 31 points on just 12 shots. He only missed once. Siakam, Nembhard, Nesmith were all good, but they did not get enough for many of their fives. Their bench had up and down performances from the likes of Campaign, Jarris Walker. At moments, those guys flashed, but not enough from any of them as the Spurs just kept scoring 34, 35, 35 in the first three quarters for San Antonio. For the Pacers' first preseason loss, they've got to figure something out with their bench. Their centers need to be better. The season approaches. They have one more
But it doesn't. It's
Hold
preseason.
on. Remember last week when we were like, none of these hosts care about preseason? Tony's the first one who's like, they got to figure this out. They got their first loss in preseason, and he's like, they've got to figure this out. This is not
Preseason or not, the losses are unacceptable.
unacceptable. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Preseason game.
That was the answer.
That was the end of it. So the Spurs get the win 124 to 108 in this one. Victor Wembanyama, 27 points, 11 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. He was just absolutely a monster, like we've seen. Played less than 25 minutes in this one too, which is like that stat line. You'd think he played like 35 or something like that.
Nope.
He's just absolutely wild. So goes to the Locked On Spurs. You hear more about that. I want to focus on the Pacers side of this because Tony was at class today, and Benedict Mathurin had a perfect shooting half, 27 points in just under 18 minutes, 9 of 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from 3, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. That's 120% true shooting percentage. Tyrese Halliburton's out.
Yes.
And we talked about the Pacers earlier today on Locked On NBA Daily with Matt and Hayes. And one of the questions that we asked is, what's this Pacers season all about? Like, what are they rooting for? And without Tyrese Halliburton. And one of them is like, Tony said, what can they learn about the team? And what if they learn that Benedict Mathurin has another level to go to? Like, if Benedict Mathurin takes a leap, Camille, what happens to the Pacers this year?
Well, here's the thing. Benedict Mathurin's been ready. And if you've listened to Benedict, he's been like, yo, give me the playing time. Like, I promise you.
I've been burned before by a Benedict typed.
Right. Like, I promise you I'm ready for the moment. And he gets out there, and he's always been an interesting guy in that Pacers system because of all of the Pacers, he feels like the least pacery in the sense of like a guy who wants to play in that style of ball because he can go and get a bucket. Just give him the ball, get out the way, and watch him get a bucket. And he had a few in this game where, as you mentioned, he was perfect from the field the first half. The one shot he missed was his first shot of the third quarter. It's a layup, and he thought he was fouled, and there was contact. So, like, I see it. Like, the man's hitting jab steps in the corner with Wemby defending them. Wemby puts his hand down for a second, gets enough space, he's letting it fly, and he was knocking it down. Like, Mathurin can be a weapon for them, especially if the offense really starts to stall. Being able to have a guy you can throw the ball to and like, just go get us one is super, super valuable. And I think he's going to be a big part of this Pacers system, but it's going to be interesting to see how he fits into that system of the Pacers ball, the ball movement and everything like that. And find that balance of moving the ball, being in that system, but also like, I know I can go and get this bucket right now. So seeing that throughout the season, how that plays out is going to be interesting to me.
And he's a guy that runs really hot and can also run really cold too. So that's something we'll see throughout the season is how he manages that, especially without a guy like Halliburton setting him up as well. But I think if he takes a leap, then the Pacers can be a play-in team. This team has some solid players on it. You got the backcourt of Nembhard and you're going to probably play Nesmith as well. Got Isaiah Jackson, I think is an okay stopgap for, with Miles Turner now not out. And obviously Pascal Siakam. Like, I think this team's going to be okay. The East is really bad, Camille. We did the East preview this weekend, and like you start going through it, and you're like, oh my gosh. Like David Ramil was sitting there talking about the Heat and their problems and their solutions, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
You know what? The Pacers, even if Mathurin doesn't take a step because of like I said, the system that the Pacers run and all the guys having this buy-in, they were a team that already kind of had in that play-in bracket, might surprise some people. But my concern with them now is just they got a lot of injuries to that guard position. Like we mentioned, Halliburton's out. TJ McConnell, I think is going to be a big blow for them to try to adjust to not having him out there in the game as well. Cam Jones is hurt right now. Quentin Jackson is hurt. Like they just have a lot of guards right now that are out. So like if they can kind of weather that and get some consistent play, like I definitely think the Pacers are at least a play-in team.
Speaking of the Heat, and before I play this post-game short, I want everyone, what Wes Goldberg looks like. We've seen him on this show. He hosts Locked On NBA Daily now, and he hosts a game night. Wes Goldberg's hair reminds me of somebody that had to watch the Heat starters get beat by the Hawks second, third stringers in overtime in a preseason game, right?
Well, the Miami Heat lose to the Hawks in preseason overtime. Kind of a wild ending. The Heat had a chance to put the game away on an inbound pass. Instead, they turned the ball over. The Hawks hit a game-winning shot. Some guy that's going to be in the G League. Names don't matter. Honestly, the final score doesn't even matter.
Not him being salty, too. Not the hair disheveled and salty about it.
Not the petty on it.
The fact that the Heat lost the game does not really matter. Here's what does matter. Maybe.
Wait,
the
does
Heat
not matter.
have now lost all 5 of their preseason games. They're 0-5 in this preseason. They have one more preseason game left Friday against the Grizzlies. If they lose, it will be only the second time in franchise history that the Heat have gone winless in an entire preseason. Again, final score doesn't really matter in preseason. Wins and losses don't super matter in the preseason, but if you're the Heat coming off of the season that you just had, you lose Jimmy Butler, you're kind of starting this new era, you kind of like to get one win to at least feel good about yourself going into the regular season. Now, we'll see what happens. This was sort of supposed to be a dress rehearsal for Miami. They were losing guys like Nikola Jovic and Kasperis Sakachonis due to injury. Maybe they'll be available on Friday. Get a little bit of a break here. So maybe the Heat will play a little bit more of another dress rehearsal on Friday against the Grizzlies and try to close the preseason with a win to feel good about something going into the regular season.
Even though it doesn't matter.
Even though.
But their last game is against the Grizzlies. You feel okay about that one for them?
Asking that question about preseason feels dirty. It's like, who knows? I would assume that the Heat are going to try to make that another dress rehearsal for them, but they did that tonight as well, and it did not work out for them. So,
speaking of dirty, the lineup that the Hawks put out there was dirty to NBA fans and to everyone. This is a person that I'm about to play that knows his team better than I think anybody else knows their team and the entire network of all of us. Even Brad Rowland, I think, struggled with this line.
My name is Brad Rowland, the host of the Locked On Hawks podcast, and the Hawks got a win in thrilling fashion, actually, in the preseason on Monday evening. 119-118 at home against the Miami Heat. It was really the zombie Hawks in this case. In fact, 9 of Atlanta's top 10 players coming into the season did not play, and that led to some interesting lineup combinations. The Hawks are basically playing their third and fourth teams against, relatively speaking, Miami's first and second team most of the way. Bam Adebayo did lead the game for Miami, but big picture, the Hawks played reasonably well given what they had available. Offensively, it was kind of a slog on the whole. Without Trey Young, without the creators, Jalen Johnson available, etc. Even Keaton Wallace, who started at point guard, left the game at halftime due to illness. But the Hawks scratched, they clawed, they rebounded, they kind of did the little things well, and ended up stealing one in a pretty memorable fashion, actually, after a game-winning three by Caleb Houston in the final minutes. But overall, not a ton to take away, but the Hawks certainly got another win and some good vibes as they head into the final preseason game later on this week.
Do you know how crazy it has to be to get to your fourth string? What does that even mean?
Fourth string
He's
team.
in third and fourth.
What does that mean?
But I know what it means because the Hawks literally signed 3 guys hours before the game, and they were playing. Lamont Butler, Smith,
this guy Lamont Butler does not have a profile picture on NBA.com and played 37 minutes.
He was just signed hours before the game. Hours.
Go listen to Brad Rowland, Locked On Hawks. He'll tell you stuff about these guys that nobody else knows. That he is the local expert. Coming up, the other local experts from the Knicks, Wizards, straight from Madison Square Garden, and the Wizards get the win there. Let's talk about that and play Count It Up, where we count the most interesting, fun things in the NBA. Coming up, Locked On NBA Daily Game Night continues. Oh, excuse me. Branding, I'm not sure. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by Peloton. If you're somebody that has tried to work out or is working out and you're like, this is not really working for me, Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with a brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. It's not just riding the bike anymore. You can do all those different things with it. And the cool thing that I like about it is it has like this scanner that like scans you and tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. 2 things that everybody that works out wants more of: more safety, more smartness. The swivel screen is a game changer. It helps you go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat as well. Let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. It's the word one, peloton.com, or just Google it. Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus or the Tread Plus, and see what you can find out about it. See if that's something you're interested in. onepeloton.com.
Big chicken, baby.
I think a lot. I'm very smart.
Take that for that.
Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up.
It's Count It Up, where we count the most interesting, fun things in the NBA. Sometimes they're just interesting and fun to us. And this one, the Wizards get a win against the New York Knicks. Let's hear from our guy Abdullah about the Wizards win in this one.
The Wizards win preseason game number 2 against the New York Knicks, 120-103. Lots to talk about. Will Riley, I'll start off with him. 17 points for the rookie. He looks so good out there. And a guy who's so young, I think he's going to contribute a lot come his rookie year. Trey Johnson at 10 points. He looked comfortable as well. A lot of the Knicks starting players didn't play. It makes sense. It's preseason. And Alex Sarr, Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, a lot of the core guys for Washington didn't play as well. So Will Riley and Trey Johnson stepped up. Tristan Vucevic had 15 points. Marvin Bagley with a double-double, I think 17 and 11. A guy like him is going to compete with minutes with Tristan Vucevic. Overall, this team was competing in the paint, won the turnover battle, won the paint battle, playing very fast. That's what I'm hoping to see this regular season. And I understand it's preseason, but bouncing back from last game's loss against the Raptors, heartbreaking fashion, it was good to see the young guys go out there and ball out. And we'll see next preseason game against the Detroit Pistons. Stay tuned. Hail to the Wizards.
I will not hail the Wizards, but I'm proud of Abdullah for not saying preseason doesn't matter. In there.
He was thinking it though.
He was thinking it. Also, how tall do you think Abdullah is?
Ooh. Maybe
we were seeing a lot of ceiling in that.
Right. Maybe like 5'11".
He's 6'4".
What?
Blew me away. His co-host is like 5'8" too. They're very different sizes, which I found really funny. Locked On Knicks also was at the game, unlike lots of the Knicks players. But our guy Chris, who contributes to Locked On Knicks, had some good thoughts after this game here from Madison Square Garden.
All right, Monday night here at Madison Square Garden concludes the Wizards 120, the Knicks 103. Tyler Kolek, Pacome Dadier, two key young players for New York. And yes, the Knicks are in a championship contention window, but they used 4 draft picks in the 2024 NBA draft. They have these young guys stocking up the roster, and the rumors have been that they might look to move one to make room for both Landry Shamet and Malcolm Brogdon on their final roster for the 2026 NBA season. So when it comes to Pacome Dadier and Tyler Kolek, two of the names that have been mentioned most with regard to those trades, you got a dichotomy of games from them tonight. Tyler Kolek, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't necessarily electrify the Garden. It was just a preseason environment, but the fans were chanting his name. They were clapping every time he subbed in. They were clapping every time he scored, every time he got an assist. So the fans enjoyed the Tyler Kolek show here at Madison Square Garden tonight. Pacome Dadier, 8 points, 6 rebounds. Mike Brown talked before the game about Dadier needing to be a little more physical, a little more or cognizant of his length, of his size. He's got this huge frame, but Brown contends that he doesn't actually utilize it enough. So you saw Dadier trying to get a little more comfortable out there, particularly defensively, where he can make some things happen. He can create some turnovers. So Mike Brown still looking for that aggression from Dadier. Kolek definitely did his part, but the Knicks, again, lose by 17 points. Just preseason, but an uneventful game for New York. Didn't shoot well from three-point range. Washington did. That was the difference. Washington, young, hungry. They played Mike Brown's style of basketball better than Mike Brown's team tonight, and that's the preseason. That's the beauty of it. That's the ugly of it, everything in between. So we'll have you covered on Locked On Knicks as the preseason progresses. 1 game left Friday night against the Charlotte Hornets, and then October 22nd is the next date to watch, opening night against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I thought we were gonna get one more that preseason doesn't matter. I thought we were getting one more. You like the comment about Mike Brown and them playing Mike Brown ball better than the Knicks did.
I did, because it was very evident in watching this game. And again, the Knicks were sitting a lot of their key rotational players, but what's interesting about it is that their starting lineup is a group of guys that you will really think is going to be running like their bench mob for the most part. So you were able to get looks at guys who theoretically should be sharing the court together in some capacity throughout the season. And at times it just looked a little choppy, not as fast. And you saw those young legs of the Wizards. They're running after misses. They're running period. They're trying to force turnovers and get out there on the ball. Like, they're just moving. And you saw the difference in play between the Knicks and the Wizards tonight, I thought, as well.
Last game of the night, we have the Timberwolves getting a big win. Let's hear from our guy, Ben Beacon. And hopefully he thinks preseason matters.
Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Zhangguo Loong-Lions from China in their preseason game by 60 points on Tuesday night. I'm Ben Beacon, host of the daily Locked On Wolves podcast. And the Timberwolves didn't play 8 of their top 10 players in this game. None of the top 7 in the rotation played, resting everybody. Jalen Clark, of course, still recovering from his injury last week. And so that meant a lot of young players for Minnesota in this game. And Rob Dillingham and this year's rookie first-round pick, Jean Berenger, are the ones that stood out in this one. Dillingham had 27 points on just 14 shots, had 9 assists and only 1 turnover in this game. And Jean Beringer dominated on both ends of the floor, put up a 10 and 10 double-double, had a monster block, almost hit his head on the rim with the block in the third quarter. A couple of nice finishes inside, great feel. Really continuing to see what this young Timberwolves depth could look like and the upside that they could have this season. Really good to see Rob Dillingham and Beringer show out in this preseason game. Make sure to subscribe to Locked On Wolves for all things Timberwolves.
Yep, because preseason matters.
To some.
Last thing, I want to do an actual count it up because we really didn't do count it up today.
Let's get at least one.
Let's get at least one, right? The Milwaukee Bucks are reportedly signing Alex Antetokounmpo to a 2-way NBA deal, joining older brothers Giannis and Thanasis. Octagon's Alex Thanasis tells ESPN. This marks the first time in NBA history that 3 brothers are on an active roster contract with the same exact team. My question for you, Camille, as the Locked On Bucks host, actually as the Locked On NBA Game Night host, not the Bucks host.
Okay, take off the Bucks hat.
Does this scream desperate or from a position of strength from the Milwaukee Bucks?
Listen, all I'm going to say is there was a time period in life where the New York Knicks signed J.R. Smith's brother too. All right. J.R. Smith's brother got a contract too. All right.
Taylor Griffin, Blake Griffin's brother.
Listen, it happens. It happens throughout the league. There were teams that were trying to sign Costas because they thought that could lure Giannis to their teams as well.
Dallas Mavericks had him on a 2-way.
So I'm saying, let's not look at the Bucks solely and be like, hey, y'all the first team to do this. Now, while the Bucks are the first to have 3 brothers technically on the same team, since he's going to be on a 2-way contract, I get it. But it's not new in the NBA for things like this to happen.
Are we thinking Alex is going to be a viable NBA player?
Well, if he's a 2-way guy, and at the very least, you're hoping that he can develop into something that might be interesting.
The answer is we don't know. The answer is no. The answer is it's desperate. The answer is the Bucks are not feeling very good about their Antetokounmpo.
Okay, I don't think it's that deep.
Okay, you don't think so?
Giannis is not going nowhere this season. If
Hasn't Alex been around for a little while? Why sign him now?
He was on the herd prior to he's been in the system of the Bucks universe before he was.
Did he play well in the herd?
You said did he play well?
Yeah.
He was all right. He was all right. But he was on the herd before, is what I'm saying. There was already.
I don't care if he was on Colin Cowherd's show. I want to know.
But listen, honestly, I don't care if the Bucks sign Giannis's pets. I don't care if they sign his teachers. I don't care. If it keeps Giannis in Milwaukee, sign them all. Sign them all. I don't care.
You got any 2-way spots open? Is Kostas still have eligibility?
No, they're all taken up at this point. Unless they're going to cut somebody else for someone else.
They're all taken up. How about the herd? Is the herd still have space in it?
Hey, listen, I'm sure they can find a way. They can accommodate.
Where do the herd play?
Oshkosh.
What,
you have no idea where Oshkosh is, dude.
No, that's a kid's clothing brand, isn't it?
Oshkosh Bagosh, yes. Very popular, yes.
I don't know where that is.
It's
Do you know where Frisco is? That's where the Mavs one plays.
No idea.
No, it's 40 minutes
north. From California?
It's 30 minutes north of Dallas.
All right. Learn something new. See? Learn things on
geography here on game night. Where's Oshkosh in relation to?
It's about 45 minutes north of Milwaukee, maybe an hour.
They sent him farther north?
He ain't as north as Green Bay or anything like that. You're in between. Do
the polar bears come down there? Is that
all right? It ain't. It's colder in Minnesota than it be in Wisconsin. All right. No polar bears.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA Game Night. We've got more shows. Check the link in the description to find all those great shows from all these hosts that we heard from tonight. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA Game Night.